Hello everyone, this is episode 17 of the Spillage series, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a 30-minute long video, but this is going to be kind of more like the live streams, so it's just going to be straight through, not going to be any edits, so you guys are going to get to see in real time what it's like when I play Timberborn, and if you've seen any of my live streams, then it's going to be a little bit more like that. So right off the bat we can speed it up to triple speed, and then in the last episode we can go through that. We connected in this power network into the other one, so if we go underground we can actually see all the power shafts that we added in. A little bit laggy going down, but when we finally reach the bottom you can see pretty basic, just an L shape. We do have quite a few platforms that we could remove, get some planks back, and I think it's probably worth doing that. But we got to make sure that we don't remove any additional buildings. So let's go right there, 180. We'll get those collected. We don't have a whole lot of storage, but we have some additional storage capacity. So we can go all the way over here. So we'll start with that. We'll just make sure everything's bumped up on the priority list to be collected. I don't think they have a whole lot else going on, but we can go with that. And then I was hoping that we'd have a bad tide come up soon. We have not experienced one in a while, but the next thing I want to focus on is getting this Badwater River capped off. I think there's probably some things we can do before, although what I'm most concerned about is during a bad tide, this bad tide drain, and then there's another one right here. Both of those are going to turn on, and I don't really want to flood anything, especially this mine. We have this one that we have isolated from the Badwater River, but now I'm thinking about it, it's probably worth building this up either way. So let's start off doing that. We can get some platforms or some levees on the side, and then we will need to remove some of these platforms so we can go up another level, like right here. But we can go right along the edge. In fact, we might do dirt just to keep it consistent. We can keep the levees that's surrounding the mine, and then the dirt will be kind of where we built it out, connecting into the side of the mountain. So we can go right along here, and then as long as we remove this single staircase we should be able to do the same. So we can let them work on that. That'll be pretty easy. And then we also started our aquatic farm. I think that was in the last episode because we ended up blowing this part out, and then we had some water drain into here. So ended up patching that. So we're kind of limited on how big we can make this aquatic farm. And then we added a good amount of spatter dock since we were running short on grilled spatter dock. It seems like we are starting to actually get some extra, which is good news. And then we're still doing great on cattail crackers, but we don't have storage for cattail crackers in this district. We only have 30, and then 200 grilled spatter dock in this district as well. So we should probably add some storage for them. We did add in some storages. That was a few episodes ago, but I think we're going to continue expanding the living area for the beavers in this direction. So we should try and get some more storages over here. I think we'll stick with, this is a perfect width if we want to get some of the larger warehouses. We could go like this. We'll just start with 4, and then we'll make sure it's set to cattail crackers and grilled spatter dock. And then what other things do we need? Maple pastries? Are we even making those? I don't even know if we have maple syrup in this district. We have 294 in total. None of that is in this district. So maybe we need to focus on irrigation. We did add this in, so we could get some maple trees planted over here. We just need to, you know what, before we do that, let's get everything set up so that we can get over here easier. And we might want to lower all of this. We're still doing pretty good. Yeah, we're still doing pretty good on explosives. So I think we'll just get a zip line going across. We can add one right next to the existing zip line. Yeah, we'll just go right here. And this one is in range. Yeah, so we'll go and then connect it in. And then we have this space, which I'd like to have maybe some platforms built on top, take advantage of the space that we're not losing out on green space. But I think we can do it right here. That's probably close enough. So we have a forester, we can switch this guy, he can be a bot. And then let's get some maple trees planted. So we have chestnut trees as well, since it's the folktales. So we can get some more of those planted. I don't even know if we have any chestnut trees in this district, or even in this world. So we can go on the back side. And we'll basically just fill in as much as we can. And then we can also place a couple gatherer flags here and here. And then we'll need a tapper shack. Since we're going to have maple trees over here, let's go like this. We'll extend the maple all the way. And then we can get a couple platforms. In fact, we'll place a few. And then we'll get that tapper shack. Whoops. There we go. Okay. And now as long as we connect that path in, he can reach everything. And they... okay. So it looks like that should be sufficient. We'll leave this guy, and then we'll need to set up some more infrastructure for making the maple pastries. And then we have that one set. We can store a good amount of these other foods. Grilled chestnuts. Yeah, we'll have that one set to grilled chestnuts. We'll need to add in a grill. And then we'll have that one set to grilled chestnuts. And then we'll need some bakeries. Right? Yeah, because we'll use wheat flour, maple syrup, and logs. I don't think... I want to be intentional about where I place stuff and not just toss it down. Oh, and we also... I completely forgot about that. So we added in the earth recultivator. We are still running short on treated planks, but we've placed down all the gears and metal blocks that we needed. So we only have 2. We are running short on pine resin, both in this district and overall. There's some pine trees over here. I say we go get some. So we'll just add in way too many platforms. And we added in another one over here. And as long as we get a path set up, and then give a spot for a tapper shack, then we should be good. So we'll just place a few more. And then where is that tapper shack? And then let's make sure we just have all this prioritized. Because this is going to be helpful in order to get that monument or that wonder constructed. And then the Fountain of Joy, the benefits they've been spreading for all of these beavers. We still have some unemployed bots. And I don't think... You know what, we're going to switch this guy to be a bot. And then we also want to make sure that he has some biofuel nearby. So we'll add in a double platform And then if we go to storage, we can get some biofuel sent over there for him. Got to make sure it's prioritized by haulers, otherwise they might not ever bring it over there. But we have the zip lines, so that'll make it much more efficient to get over there. And then I was thinking about lowering this. We're doing pretty darn good on logs, so I think we'll probably just remove those trees. Do we have extra anywhere? Oh my gosh. We have so many trees that have grown up. So we are, yeah, we're maxed out here. So yeah, we'll get over here, remove all these, place some dynamite down. And then first we need to actually get a path going over there. And I imagine that we probably have some beavers and bots who are needing to do something, so this will be something for them to do. Once we get that constructed, we can mark all of this, except for the ruins. We'll leave those because we might need those down the road. And then we'll need to make sure that path goes far enough that they can reach everything. And then we'll start placing down lots of double dynamite. And they'll need to fill in the gaps. Ooh, we gotta make sure. Let's prioritize removing everything first. I should have done this before I placed any dynamite down. Yeah, the order of operations sometimes can make a difference. Yeah, and if you have not checked out any of the live streams, typically I do them Saturday mornings, sometimes on Sundays depending on my schedule, but those are a ton of fun. Get to interact with you guys. You guys catch some of the things that I miss in real time, which is helpful. And so if we go down 2 tiles, that'll help increase that irrigation range. And then we're just gonna start placing down. Oh, they probably can't reach that. And then we can continue to place down all the dynamite. And we'll just connect that in. Paths don't super matter as long as it's close enough. We can mark... Oh, speaking of bad tides, I know at the beginning I said I wanted one, so looks like we're going to experience one, which is excellent. Lower all that except for this one, and then we probably missed these 2. So let's see, we raised this up. We need to remove this, and then we can do the same with these ones. And as long as we place down a levee, I mean, I'm hoping that this doesn't flood, but you never know. We could end up flooding this. There are 2 bad tide drains. I'm hoping that it doesn't, but they can't even reach all this. So we gotta do something like this. We'll go way longer because we might need access to over here down the road. I don't know if we will, but just in case. So we've raised this up, and then we're gonna be, you know what? We could actually, if we go to water, oh, we don't have stream gauges. It's probably an automation. So if we go to depth sensor, it's kind of overkill, honestly, but we'll have a depth sensor right here. And I just want to know, you know, because this says the measurement. And then the threshold doesn't matter because we're not tying anything to it, but I just want to know what is the depth, you know, right around here. And then, because we already blocked off one of the bad tide drains, so we'll see. We have a couple days until that bad tide hits, and then we also replaced a bunch of birch trees 1 or 2 episodes ago with some of these oak trees. Ooh, and we have a contaminated beaver. I don't know how that happened. That might have been in the last episode. So since it's the folktales, we got to go to well-being, and the herbalist, oh gosh, requires paper, berries, and dandelions. And I don't think that we have dandelions. Are there dandelions somewhere on the map? I would imagine it's somewhere we haven't touched, but I think that might not be the case. So unfortunately, that poor adult is going to be contaminated for a while. We do have some green space over here. Let's get some dandelions planted. Do we even have berries? Okay, we have some berries still. Let's make sure he prioritizes dandelions. So we got all that. The gather flags, they can reach the majority of those. And then we're actually going to remove this. I'll probably want to keep an area in case we want to have a path going over here. I don't know if we'll need it, but I think that we have plenty of trees placed down. And then I think these are the chestnut trees. Yeah. Then we got the maple trees. And we need to fill in a few more of these dynamite gaps. But we can probably add in another forester, and then depending on what trees we place over here, some of the relevant additional buildings like Tapper Shack or Gatherer Flag. But I think this is a good start. So we have those chestnut trees and the maples, and that's getting us caught up to what we have worked on in previous episodes. Like I mentioned, I want to cap off this Badwater River, and so we're going to need quite a few metal blocks, and then I think it's planks and logs, because it'll be the overhangs, and then maybe some of the metal platforms. We can unlock this one because we have a crazy amount of science, but I'm not exactly sure what design I want. We probably also need to start smoothing out the river a little bit just to make it easier. So we can start that process. We can go like this. We'll add in a platform and then make our way down. And then there is a bit of a drop off. I think it's better if you have well, actually I think they updated it. I was going to say a smoother drop off makes it better, but I don't know if that's still the case. Either way, I think we'll straighten this out. So we'll have this be the edge of the river, and then we'll probably push this forward a little bit. But we need to make sure we can reach it going to the bottom. So we'll focus on this one first. So we'll have these ones, and then we can also go over here. I think we'll need triple. Yeah, that's perfect. So we'll go 3 right here, and then we'll let them work on this. Having bots makes it easier to get stuff constructed faster, that's for sure. Still short on treated planks. We have 0. And the mines, don't those require treated planks? Yeah, so that's not great. We only have 188 scrap metal. So good thing we didn't get rid of that, because we might be using that soon. But we can wait for the bad tide to hit real quick. And so that is a whopping 8 days long. That is, oh, I didn't think of that. Well, that's gonna contaminate this, so we can, let's remove these, and then we'll place down some contamination barriers. And then let's check on that water elevation. It was at like 0.06, I think, but that's gonna be going up. So we'll wait a day or two and then take a look at that, but we can detonate this. And I brought it down to double speed just because I want my computer to survive this, so. But this is going to give us a good amount of additional green space. And then we can add in some single dynamite just to level the rest of it off. And then obviously we need to extend the paths, otherwise they can't reach any of this. But we can remove the stairs. And then I think if we go like that, we won't be able to reach it all at once, but they can reach all the front piece of dynamite. So let's get these ones done first so we can connect those paths in. And I'm thinking, okay, so it looks like it's still well within that first tile. It's hovering around 0.33, so it's not really going up. How is that one? Oh, that's how we have to do this. But we can detonate these pieces of dynamite, and then we'll go with the doubles. Put these up, and this one. And then we can start placing down some dynamite right here. I'm not going to connect this in quite yet, because we'll have them finish this first. Detonate this one. Now we can detonate it. We have a whopping 26 bots who are unemployed, and it looks like most of them are in this district. We can probably switch some jobs to be bots. Ooh. Also, we were running short on power at one point in the last episode, and I was saying we should not add in the grist mills, and then I added them in and forgot to pause them. But now we're okay. This guy's making bread. We have a good amount of bread. We could probably use some more storage. So let's add in one more, or maybe we'll add in two more. One can be bread, and then I don't think there's anything else we like really need at the moment. Maybe we get some berries. We can always change it if we need to. But we can detonate this and place down a path, not dynamite. And then they should be able to reach the rest of that. We need to add in those contamination barriers. And the tapper shack. Looks like he's making good progress. He's actually gotten almost all of this. But yeah, 7 days long, we can speed it up. And then we gotta make sure we actually detonate this. And then we go 2 more tiles down. For this one, they can reach this from above, because otherwise, if we lowered this 3 tiles, it'd be really difficult to get the last couple tiles down. But fortunately, we can go from up here as well. So we'll just start with that triple. And then we do have dirt, so we can start placing some over here. Let's check in on that depth sensor. We're still at 0.33, so we're not going to be going more than a tile deep. So like realistically, if we wanted, we could just like plop this down and cap it off, which we might end up doing. I'm not sure. And then we can start getting some dirt blocks placed down. And then I think we'll want to go, I mean, why not? We'll just go all the way. And then the width, we want it to be at least 4 wide. We can make it 5 wide. We could probably get some power from right here. We do have... Oh, this is something that I didn't think about. So that contamination is spread. I think I need to add some contamination barriers over here. We'll go right along there. We don't need to have that. I suspected there was some flooding and it killed all those trees. So I guess I wasn't paying attention to it. But we can add that contamination barrier in. I think we should have... I mean, it's working now, but I'm guessing that there was some problems, so... I think we should automate this with the bad tide weather, and then we can close it off during a bad tide. Because we're doing great on power, like we're maxed out. We have 37,000 power, 36,000 power that's being produced. So both these water wheels are generating a bucket of power. We added in these ones, and then we have all these water wheels. We don't even have any wind turbines going at the moment, but maybe we did earlier. I think closing this off is probably a safer bet during a bad tide. So they are actually placing all that dirt down really quickly. We can extend that over here. Oh, they won't be able to reach this one. That is actually fine because it's just going to get hidden away. In fact, we don't really need to do it like this. We can kind of save some dirt and just go. We go in like this. So that'll be perfect. And it seems like the water, or the bad water, is not going up too much in elevation, even though we're constricting the channel width. So I like that. I think we could add some water wheels down here if we wanted. And then we keep that, because the plan is going to be that we have a bad water river, and then on top of it, we have a water river. So I think we could do something like that. If we wanted, we could do a few of those under here. And then that'd actually be perfect because we can go here and here. And then on top of it, because that's 5 wide, we could have one of these. Ooh, I'm liking this. And then we could add this in. And then we'll have a power shaft. Now they won't be able to construct this middle part at the moment. So what we need to do is get some sort of overhang going on top, at least for now. So if we do a 3x1, that will be enough. And then we just need to add in some stairs. Looks like they're approaching it from this side. Oh, there's overhangs here as well. And then we need to go up in elevation. I also need to think about how I'd actually connect this in to the power network. Not quite sure on that. Maybe we'll just have it go along here, up the river, and then connect in. That's always a possibility. Oh, we can place down some more dirt blocks. And then we'll go across. And this time we're just going to make this whole thing hollow. Yeah, we'll go like this. And, okay, they can reach it if we go over here. We'll have that connected in. And we have 4 days left in the bad tide. I think we're at 30 minutes right now, but we'll go a little bit longer. And we'll wait until the bad tide is over. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying this format. It's, like I said, it's a little different. I'm not going to be doing it for every video that I put out, but I want to try it for this series. And it's a lot, like I said, it's a lot more similar to the live streams. We can add in a few more dirt blocks, And then we could probably change this. We can remove... It's kind of hard to delete stuff. At least for dirt now, but we'll go like this, then they can construct it way faster. Whoops. Move this one. Oh, and they probably can't reach all of it also. So as long as we extend that, can they reach this one? Okay, let's remove all these. Oh, we don't need any of that. Okay, so they should be able to finish that one now. And then same with these ones. And then that's our little outgrowth for this, which I don't think that... Yeah, I bumped this up to 0.85 meters, so there shouldn't be any water coming through here. And then this guy, we added in the fluid dump a few episodes ago. And so that keeps all the bad water out of here. And then how's our wonder coming along? We're at 1,700 treated planks. I'm not even seeing treated planks. So yeah, we are running a wee bit short on them. And it's not because of these guys. It's because of pine resin. Wait, that's not true. We have 160 pine resin. What about in this district? That's probably where all the... yeah, all the pine resin's here. We have no vacant or no unemployed bots, but I think it's probably worth switching these. Yeah, we'll switch those. And then there's probably some bot jobs we can switch to beavers. We'll do a forester. And then I imagine we have a lumberjack flag somewhere. Yeah, we'll switch that guy. And then we have no catalyst. Why is that? They're making it. Extract and maple syrup. They have extract. There is plenty of maple syrup. I think we're probably just burning it as fast as we're making it. So we can duplicate this guy. Bump, not the workplace. We'll bump the construction up. And then, yeah, we'll let them keep working. I love this aqueduct. This is just so cool. 26,000 power. That's a crazy amount. During the droughts though, not as fun. So we can keep adding in some gravity batteries. And then I like to do just on top of the single platform so that they can construct it easier. And then they will be able to reach this one, but we're going to drop it down a level if we continue in this direction, which we might end up doing. But they did reach this, and then if I want to get the water elevation just like one tile below this, I think if we pause it real quick, this would be perfect. And is this a 5x5? It kind of looks like it. It is also a 5x5. That was not planned. But it worked out. So we can go dirt across. Just for the aesthetics. Go dirt over there. Oh, they're not going to be able to reach it. We'll go staircase. So I think they should be able to construct all of this. And then we can remove the stairs and then place down that 5x5. Oh, we need to go... Wait, I don't even want... Okay, that's not exactly what I think I should do. We can do it like this instead. We'll go here and here. Because I want to place this down so that we can block the water that's on top from going over. And then we can also keep adding in some water wheels. So we'll just go along here. And then we'll keep placing down those levees. I don't know. Ooh, flurry of activity. We're doing good on both logs and levees. No, logs and planks. But we'll just go like this. And then all along here we'll add in those power shafts. And then it seems like every 10 tiles will have this right here. 2, 1, 2, so it'll be right here. Will be the next one. We'll change that to a platform. Excellent. And then we'll obviously need to adjust this. We'll probably drop an elevation at some point. But that is the start of it. So that's pretty cool. We have a day left in the bad tide. So I think that's where we're going to wrap up today's episode. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I might do it for this series. I am still going to release my edited videos per usual on the Timberborn 1.0 series. But if you guys are interested, I can do some more episodes like this. Might be able to bump the frequency up a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Like I mentioned, you should check out the live streams. They are a ton of fun. And then there's also the replays on my YouTube channel. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.